repeat it 500 times.
Hey, did you grade my Alex yet?
Alex is up to date.
Yeah, she graded it because I got an F. Yeah, I also you did it too. I did like, wait, Taylor, how many years did my Alex?
I don't think you did 20 extra credit Alex's.
I did
Some are extra credit, yes, but remember,
25.
90% of your grade is your assessments. So if you didn't do well in your assessments, you need to redo them if you want your grade to change.
Okay, I'll get it for.
All right. So here's what happens. When we have fractions, don't freak out. You're first going to add or subtract to get rid of the constant on the side of the variable. McKenna, do you need to go or can you stop being disruptive? Can you be respectful and non-disruptive or do you need to go?
I didn't even do anything.
Huh.
Bro, you're tripping.
So to get rid of this 4, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Now this is really like, guys, this is really like r divided by 5. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. There is kind of a nasty thing from the light right now, sorry. The reciprocal of 1/5 is 5 over 1, which is 5. So if we multiply the left by 5, it becomes 1r. If we multiply the right by 5, it becomes negative 25. So for this one, what do we have to do first? Remember, our first step is to add or subtract. What are we adding or subtracting? We just got here. Then use your time wisely. Don't hang out with your friends. No, go sit down.
Oh my God. I thought we have 2 classes every day. Yeah, mom. I want to use one.
Not 5 minutes into class.
Wow.
All right. We're going to multiply or divide here. So our first step is to add or subtract. How do I get rid of a negative 2?
You just do.
I add 2 to both sides. Can you please be quiet? All right, guys, this becomes 0. Then I'm bringing down this 2/3 W. Bringing down my equal sign. What's 10 plus 2? 12. Now up here, we multiplied by the reciprocal. Whew. What is the reciprocal of 2/3? What's the reciprocal of 2/3?
That is not school appropriate.
3 seconds or 3 over 2? 3 over 2. Guys, stop talking. McKenna.
Yeah, that's my name.
Stop talking.
Okay.
All right, so these become 1. This is W. Remember, this is like 12 times 3. What's 12 times 3?
Oh, 36.
36. 36 divided by 2, right? Because this is 36 over 2. What's 36 divided by 2? Taylor, sit down. 18. McKenna, you're gonna. All right. Guys, this other way is the exact same we've been doing it, guys. You're still getting rid of the constant. The constant is the number that's by itself. And then you're getting rid of the coefficient. The coefficient is the number that's next to P-in. That's next to the letter. All right, so same thing. You can use either method. So, that being said, The ones that we did not do were, I believe, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So let's do those real quick. You actually, guys, stop. Guys, Eli, enough. You have to mind your own business and take care of Eli. So I'm going to look in this packet because on 6-2, we're going to practice some of this stuff. So hopefully you did a lot of these. Hey, Abby. So the first step is to subtract 3 from each side. This is page 1 in 6-2 in your packet. Get it out, guys. Come on. I'll give you a second.
Yeah, she's still.
All right. Okay, guys, sit. Hey, we're not wandering around. Sit, sit, sit. That's a bummer. All right. Our second step is to get rid of the coefficient. How do I get rid of the 5? I want to know what 1x is. So I would divide both sides by what? 5. So I subtracted 3, and then I would divide each side by 5. So if I solve the equation, 5x plus 3 equals 23, and I did, Allison, what it says to do. McKenna, can you turn around and face the front?
Yep. Here you go.
You have a question?
Why'd you cut your hair?
Because I wanted to. So the first step is to subtract 3 from each side. So minus 3 from each side. 5x equals 20. Next step is to divide each side by 5. So x is equal to, what's 20 divided by 5? 4. All right, so we're going to do the same thing again. The first thing we have to do, and I'm sick and tired of saying your name. Be quiet. How do I get rid of -1? Yes, I'm going to add 1 to each side. So that's step 1. How do I get rid of the -4x? Or the -4, I should say.
Your dad. Oh, my bad.
If I have -4x equals something, how do I get rid of the -4? Nope, guys, I'm not subtracting 4 here. I'm multiplying by -4. So I've got to divide each side by -4. So then when we do that, -4x minus 1, -4x minus 1 is equal to 27. Guys, if we do those two steps, we are going to add 1 to both sides. -4x equals 28 now. And then I'm dividing both sides. Keaton, go sit in your other seat. Maybe you'll be quiet over there. So 28 divided by -4 is -7 here. All right, guys, you have to know how to do these two steps to figure out what x equals. All right, how do I get rid of this -1.6? I've got to take the opposite of it. So I'm going to add it to each side. So if I do that, do we need some examples to just leave? Because I've got two in mind. Stop. So if I add 1.6 to both sides, I have 2.5x equals 9/10 and 6/10 is 15/10. So carry the 1. 8. Boys, be quiet. And then I would divide them both by 2.5. So that was our next thing. Divide each side by 2.5. So 8.5 divided by 2.5 is equal to 3.4. All right. So these next ones were one you should have already done. So we're going to go over them pretty quickly. These are the same as page 297. So let's go over them for review. How do I get rid of adding 2? Yes, subtract 2. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So I have 5x equals 15. How do I undo multiplying by 5? Divide by 5. Faith, turn around. So here x is equal to 3. I know this looks a little bit backwards, but you can still do it. I have to add or subtract to get rid of this constant. So what am I going to do? Subtract 3 from both sides. Quit throwing things. 19 minus 3 is 16 equals 4x. How do I undo multiplying by 4? Divide by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 is equal to x. Eli, I'm done giving you warnings. I'm just going to ask you to leave, which comes with a referral and who knows what else. Do you understand?
Yeah, one time I got a referral, my first referral in your class. You gave me a 4-hour assignment.
You'll live until we're done teaching.
You do anything.
Taylor, please stop throwing stuff.
You sit there and ignore.
I don't care what you're playing. You should be doing your math. All right, how do I get rid of this 6? We want it to be 0, remember. Our negatives become more negative. So we're at -24 is equal to 6x. Are you doing your math? Maybe you should just be quiet then. I would divide both sides here by 6. So -4 is equal to x.
Who had to create positives and negatives. Like, why did they do it?
Because sometimes the temperature is positive and negative, and sometimes altitudes are positive and negative. Sometimes your bank account's positive and negative.
Your bank account negative.
Nope. All right, I've got to get rid of this -9. Put your hand down. You should be writing with it. So add 9 to both sides. -3x is equal to -15 plus 9 is -6. Divide both sides by -3. Guys, I'm getting a little tired of all the talking. X is equal to 2. Make sure you're understanding how to do the process. You know how to add or subtract. And then you're dividing. So how do I get rid of this -7? Nope. If I subtract it, I'd have -14. But if I add 7, I have 0 there. So that becomes 0. That's what we wanted. -6x equals 24. So when I divide both by -6, I have x is equal to -4. Girls, enough. All right, how do I get rid of this -14? +14. So I'm going to add 14 to both sides. So I have 9 is equal to 3x. That means 3 times something equals 9. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So 3 is equal to x.
I think you might be a little bit gay right now. You should stop it. Oh, ew, what was that?
All right, decimal wise, we can still do this. Can you wait? We're almost done. You can handle it. Nobody's potty training in here. You'll all be okay.
I'm not.
So we're going to add 11.2 to both sides.
I was talking to teacher kid because then
8 plus 2 is 10. 3, 4, 5, so 15 is equal to 2x. So when I divide both sides by 2, 15 divided by 2 is not even, right?
right.
7.5. Is just like number 8. So again, we have to add the constant or take the opposite of the constant from both sides. So 5x is equal to 10.5. This should be 2.1 when we divide both sides by 5. 10.5 divided by 5 is 2.1.
I know my habs really well tutoring, and that's all I learned. Like,
Nice. All right, number 12 is just like number 9. So to get rid of this positive 1.5, we're going to subtract it from both sides. So I have 1 3/10 x is equal to, we have to borrow.
we're not using numbers.
3.9. So x is equal to 3. All right. So now is where we kind of went over today that you might have gotten stuck before, but hopefully we know we first have to get rid of our constant. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. So 1/6 x is equal to -6. Guys, enough. So I have to multiply by the reciprocal of 1/6. If you pass the notes again, I'm sending you. Sending you, sending you, sending you, Brooklyn. Sending. All right, what's the reciprocal of 1/6? 6 ones. 6 over 1. So I'm really multiplying both sides by 6. So this becomes 1x is equal to -36. Same thing with number 14 after we get rid of the constant. So I'm going to get rid of a -7 by adding 7 to both sides. So -1/2 x is equal to 25. We're multiplying by negative something.
May I please use the restroom?
Not right now. We're almost done.
Well, I can't hold it no more.
You'll be fine.
I have 2 passes.
So I'm going to say 2 over 1. The answer was no.
Shut up. My lord.
So we have to multiply both sides by -2. These cancel out to become +1. So x is equal to -50.
What would happen if someone peed on the floor? What would they do?
All right, this last one is just like number 12. So we got to get rid of the 5. We're going to subtract it from both sides. So -14 is equal to 2/7 x. What's the reciprocal of 2/7? You got it. So we're going to multiply both sides by 7 over 2. You have to know how to do this. We can divide by 2 first if you want. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 7 is 49. So -49 is equal to x. 16, I think, is the one that is on there. It says the table shows the cost of a membership and fruit baskets at a discount warehouse club. So it is $105. 105 is equal to, oh, they're giving it to us right here. 15 times the number of fruit baskets, so 15x plus 30. We have to solve. I'm glad you're so amused with yourself.
Thank you.
So I would subtract 30 from both sides. So 75 is equal to 15x, and divide both sides by 15. So you could use your, oops. So 5 fruit baskets. All right. So if you have not already, you are responsible for 17, 18, 19, 20, yada, 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 all the way through 27.
All right, can I use the bathroom now?
No,
Bro.
there's like multiple people in front of you.
Oh my god.
I know.
I asked right after you guys.